Speaker.
Mark Mitchell.
Speaker, I'm very happy to take a call on this general debate, and I've had to listen today to the opposition go on about how this government, how this party is making fun of a serious situation. Actually, we're not actually making fun of anything. What I would say is this, is that for a parliament to work well, it generally is recognised that you have to have a good, strong opposition.
That's right.
And we do not have a good, strong opposition in this country.
That's right.
I'd like to refer to a letter that was received by a constituent of mine, and he's given me permission to use it in the House today. He's someone that not only focuses on keeping the government to account, but he also wants to make sure that he is being serviced by a strong opposition. You know, I'll tell you what it says, but before I do that, I'd just like to come back. Before I read this letter, I'd just like to come back and mention something that Minister Coleman said earlier in his speech, and that is the fact that actually David Shearer is a good man. I think he is a good man. He's done some great things in his life. He could be an excellent leader for the Labor Party, but the fact of the matter is, it's hard to soar like an eagle when you're surrounded by turkeys. And I think that's probably the situation that Mr. Shearer finds himself in. And this is the type of letter, this is the sort of letter that they send out in their leader's name. And this is to my constituent explaining to them what they're planning to do on the 20th September 2012. I can assure you, the start isn't too bad actually, I can assure you that Labor MPs are concentrating on their portfolios. Well, they always say to start a letter with a bit of comedy, and I guess that he got 10 out of 10 for that.
Does it have stutters in it?
But then he went on, no it doesn't, but then he went on to say, we're working on a number of important things at the moment. Well, the comedy's gone too far now. He's got to stop. I won't read you the rest of the letter, the whole letter, because it'll probably put you to sleep. But I'll get to the last part of the letter where it says, Labor is developing bold new ideas to grow. Bold new ideas to grow. I'd say that I've been mauling by a white mouse would be more bold than some of the ideas that we've been seeing generated by the opposition. We'll be taking a lot more about our plan. We'll be talking a lot more about our plan for the economy in the weeks and months ahead. Well, this was written on the 20th September 2012. In all fairness, I guess we can say that we are starting to see some policy being announced by the opposition. Turning contractors into employees. Banning plastic bags in tuck shops. Reversing employment law change. What does that mean? Picking on poor defenceless hobbits. This is the sort of stuff that's been generated from the opposition. And that is why, if they feel that there's been some fun poked at them, they're leaving themselves wide open to it, because you are the opposition.
Order.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Speaker, you're quite right. I'd just like to come back and say that, and just read a quote here from an ex-Labor candidate. This is what it says: "We're waiting for David Shearer to give us the Labor narrative. Where's he headed? What is his direction?" That's Josie Pagani in the New Zealand Herald. And that is what the country is waiting for, and they are not getting it.
That capitalist.
The other thing I'd like to... The other thing that I'd like to... I would like to actually, and I know you're going to be shocked, but I would like to recognise David Cunliffe. And we talk. Well, I'll tell you why. Because we talk about transparency in this government. We talk about transparency of this parliament. And I sat up there, at the back of the house. If I was any further back, it'd be in the car park. But it gives me a pretty good look at what's going on in the house. And I have to say that I have to give credit to Mr. Cunliffe that he almost missed his question because he was so focused on lobbying Mr. Cosgrove for the leadership. And I think to come into the House and start lobbying a colleague like that is something pretty special.
Counting.
You know, we talk about I'm sure the opposition would like to get up and talk about what's important to them and what they're achieving and what they're doing. But they can't, that's right, because there's not really much that they can get up and talk about. But I would say this, today there's something going on in relation to Mr. Trevor Mallard and Andrew Little. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story about Mr. Parker.
The member's time has expired, and the time for this debate has expired. And can I just remind members that when they're interjecting on each other across the House and they don't have the call, that's not permitted. You can interject on the Speaker, by all means, but members interjecting on each other without the floor, and they don't have it, the floor, are not permitted to do so. I call on private and local order of the day number 1.